Now, if you're not in a comfortable place, find one. Grab a drink if you want, lean back. Because we're embarking on an endless journey together. At the end of the video, there are two possibilities. Either you will completely forget who you are, where you are, or on the contrary, you will find your true self. Are you ready for an existential journey? The universe, born about 13 billion years ago, with a diameter of approximately 46 billion light years. If you ask how the universe can be 46 billion light years in diameter, it's related to the expansion rate of the universe. As we know, the universe has been expanding rapidly for a very long time. So the speed of light is not a limit for the universe. But we can discuss that separately. But for now, when we say 46 billion light years, we're saying it's quite large. But it's really difficult to comprehend and understand these types of numbers, these distances. It needs to be made tangible. And that's what we're going to do today, to understand how big the universe really is. Why, you may ask? We'll talk about that at the end of the video. If you're ready, let's get started. Let's start from our perspective, at the 0 point, from the pale blue dot we're on, our Earth. Actually, we don't live on a very small planet. As we said, let's make it tangible. For example, if you were in a car driving around the world at 100 kilometers per hour without stopping, you would need to travel for more than 17 days. If you think that would be too tiring, even if you throw yourself into a passenger plane, you still need more than 2 days. So, we don't live on a small planet at all. We've been traveling for hundreds of thousands of years. We settle, live, die on this rocky planet, and we still haven't finished. Many people's lives end in a very limited area, without even seeing continents, let alone other cities. Anyway, our minds have no limits, right? Let's leave the Earth behind. Let's go to our closest neighbor, the Moon. When we look at photos, animations, it seems like it's right next to us, doesn't it? Like we could reach out and touch it on a full moon night. However, there are 384,400 kilometers between us. Shall we start with a new car? Let's say we built a road to the moon and drove continuously at a speed of 100 kilometers per hour without stopping for bathroom or meal breaks. It would take us more than 6 months to reach the moon. Although it's not by car, we've made it here in 6 months. The farthest place humanity has reached in the cosmic scale beyond Earth. 12 people have walked on it so far. It's a remarkable achievement. But our time is limited. Let's continue. When we expand our room a bit, we encounter other planets in front of us. When we see them in animations, it feels like they're very close to us. But of course they're not. It's not possible to show the true scale, because the solar system is just a tiny part of the universe, actually an enormous size. Let's get back in our car and try to go to the sun again. At a speed of 100 kilometers per hour, without stopping for meals, it would take us approximately 177 years to get there. If we said let's go by plane, that would take about 19 years. To the sun, which we think is right next to us. Now, if we decided to go to Neptune instead, it would be even more challenging. By car, it would take more than 5,000 years, without many breaks, and by plane, about 600 years. So yes, the solar system is pretty huge. That's why even just colonizing the solar system is a big dream. But still, we haven't pushed the boundaries yet. Even if we don't say it, the tools we've created have come a long way. Indeed, these vehicles can move much faster than a car or an airplane, sometimes reaching speeds of 30 to 40,000 kilometers per hour or even faster. For example, the farthest human-made object in space right now is Voyager, launched in 1977. It has been traveling at full speed towards the depths of space for over 43 years. It left the solar system long ago in August 2012. Currently, it's more than 22 billion kilometers away from our planet. If you could travel at the speed of light, it would take you 21 hours to reach Voyager. By the way, you can still track Voyager's current location and trajectory on NASA's website. Now, it's time to slowly leave the neighborhood. Let's exit the solar system, but there's a catch. Where's the boundary? There isn't a clear answer to this. For some, it's Neptune's orbit. For others, it's Pluto's. Some astronomers consider it to be the Oort cloud, a belt of billions of comets. Of course, this uncertainty corresponds to incredible distances. Let's say Neptune is the boundary of our solar system. In that case, if we could travel at the speed of light, we could reach it in 4 hours. But if we try to draw the boundary a bit further out from the Oort cloud, then it would take us 1.5 years to reach it, traveling at the speed of light when we depart from the sun. So, depending on where we draw the boundary, there's a significant difference, ranging from 4 hours to 1.5 years. It's quite a remarkable contrast. To recall how fast the speed of light is, let's consider this. It takes about 1.3 seconds to reach the moon at the speed of light and about 8 minutes to reach the sun. When we think about reaching the outskirts of the neighborhood, even at this incredible speed, it would take a year, as you can understand. Well, I guess I don't need to say that we're just getting started. We haven't even moved a single centimeter cosmically speaking. It's on an astonishing scale. When we compare our solar system to our galaxy, the Milky Way, our minds start to stretch even further. Now, let's consider the closest star to us, Proxima Centauri, about 4.2 light-years away. Right over there, actually. Let's congratulate the car, then try to go there. How long do you think it would take? If we were to travel at a speed of 100 kilometers per hour without taking any breaks, it would take roughly 47 million years. If we're in a hurry and say, let's take a plane, it would still take 5 million years. And if we're really in a rush, let's catch a spaceship, traveling at the same speed as Voyager 1, it would take 73,000 years, going to our nearest neighbor star. So, it's not too bad, but even at this speed, considering human lifespan, it translates to 2,500 generations. A bit further away, the brightest star in the sky, Sirius, is 8 light-years away. As we move a bit further, we encounter a larger neighborhood made of stars. There are about 52 star systems in this region. Some are a bit dim, so we can't see them, but we can see some stars much clearer even though they're much further away. For example, despite being 645 light-years away, we can see it quite easily like a child, because it's a star much larger than our sun. But when we look at our own interstellar neighborhood, we have a system with a diameter of 50 light-years in front of us. From one end to the other, it's a colossal system that would take us 1 million years to reach with Voyager 1. And when we leave this system behind, we achieve victory. When we talk about victory, we're referring to the place where human communication and radio waves have reached since World War II. This is what it corresponds to, right here, this blue dot I'm talking about. Since the invention of radio, the waves we've emitted have only reached about 30 star systems so far. If there's a civilization in a more distant part of the Milky Way, they haven't heard from us yet. And it's not a small area. This time we're talking about an area with 3,000 to 5,000 stars. It's an area with a diameter of 160 light-years, but let's move out from here. Let's go about 1,000 light-years away. Seems very far, doesn't it? But no, unfortunately, it's not even 1% of the Milky Way galaxy. Can you imagine how vast our galaxy is? A single galaxy with an estimated 400 billion stars. When we say billion, people might think, wow, that's a lot. But I want you to think again about how big a billion really is. For example, if you count one by one, counting up to 1,000 would take us about 17 minutes. Counting up to 1 million would take us about 12 days. Do you know how long it would take to count up to 1 billion? 32 years. Yes, it's that huge of a number. So, when we talk about 1 billion and 100 to 200 billion or 400 billion stars, I hope you understand what I'm talking about. I wanted to emphasize this because things get even more complicated. So if our galaxy alone has around 400 billion stars, and if we assume that each star has a planetary system, we're talking about billions, trillions of potential planets. Speaker 1. I guess there's no need to explain the magnitude of numbers anymore. Does it end here? No, of course not. Currently, we think the observable universe has a diameter of 46 billion light-years. Beyond that, we don't know. But as we discussed earlier, Considering the universe's accelerating expansion, the actual size of the universe could be thought to be 250 times larger. We're talking about trillions of light years, and now the real question is, what can knowing this add to a person? The answer to this is, of course, very personal. But for all the great names in history, philosophers, thinkers, scientists, the answer to this question is actually the answer to everything. Because the effort to understand the universe is, in fact, parallel to the effort to understand oneself. The better we understand the universe, the better we understand ourselves. Yes, we're not actually trying to understand the universe. The universe is not something we can think of separately from ourselves. We are the universe, and ultimately, biologically, we are interconnected with each other, chemically with our world, and atomically with the entire universe. And this consciousness, in every sense, is a consciousness that can change everything. It tells us that we need to approach all living beings and the environment with respect and love. It may seem very small and insignificant, but it also tells us how special we are. Knowing that every atom in our bodies came from stars that died long ago ultimately tells us that conflicts, wars, and trivial concerns are insignificant. It tells us that our time is limited and that we need to make the most of it. As always, until we meet again, thank you for being here. With love.